The medial cord gives rise to one local nerve, the lateral cord to two. The one from the medial cord is the medial pectoral nerve. It's one of a pair. Here's its partner, the lateral pectoral nerve, which arises from the lateral cord. The pectoral nerves supply pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. Also arising from the lateral cord is the musculocutaneous nerve. It supplies three upper arm muscles, one of which we've seen, coracobrachialis. The other two we'll see in the next section. The posterior cord, here it is again with all its branches intact, has four branches. The axillary nerve runs round the neck of the humerus, along with the posterior circumflex humeral artery, to supply the deltoid muscle and also teres minor. The subscapular nerves, an upper and a lower, supply subscapularis and teres major. The thoracodorsal nerve supplies latissimus dorsi. Now let's see the shoulder muscle nerves which don't arise from the cords of the brachial plexus. Of these, one is the branch of a trunk, two arise from the roots of the brachial plexus, and two aren't part of the plexus at all. Arising from the upper trunk is the suprascapular nerve, which supplies supraspinatus and infraspinatus. Arising from the C5 root and passing through the middle scalene muscle is the dorsal scapular nerve. It supplies the rhomboid muscles. Arising from the C5, 6, and 7 roots, the long thoracic nerve emerges through the middle scalene muscle, runs deep to all three trunks of the brachial plexus, and supplies serratus anterior. Trapezius gets its nerve supply from the spinal accessory nerve. Lastly, levator scapulae gets a private nerve supply from the nearby roots of C3, 4, and 5. We've looked at some pretty complex and detailed anatomy in the last few minutes. Let's review what we've seen of the veins, arteries, and nerves of the shoulder region. First, the few veins that we saw. The cephalic, subclavian, and brachiocephalic veins. Next, the arteries, the brachiocephalic trunk, the subclavian artery, the axillary artery, the brachial artery, the transverse cervical and suprascapular arteries, the thoracoacromial, lateral thoracic, subscapular, anterior, and posterior circumflex humeral arteries. Lastly, nerves, starting with the main components of the brachial plexus, the roots of the brachial plexus, C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. The three trunks, upper, middle, and lower. Each trunk splitting into divisions, an anterior and a posterior. From the three divisions, three cords arising, the lateral and medial from the anterior divisions and the posterior from the posterior divisions. Arising from the lateral cord and the medial cord, the musculocutaneous, median, and ulnar nerves, and the pectoral nerves, the medial and the lateral. Arising from the posterior cord, the axillary and radial nerves. Also the subscapular and thoracodorsal nerves. Arising higher up, the suprascapular, the long thoracic, and the spinal accessory nerve.